Good motherfucking morning. Good motherfucking afternoon. Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, bro. Tuesday. It's been a good weekend. Oh my God. Ethereum, bro. It could start to get really fucking crazy out here, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to share most of my thoughts, if not all of them, today on where we're at and what's about to go down. Also, we'll do some diving into the events that may have happened over the course of this weekend, catch up on the back end of last week, and just share that conversation with my boy Theban, because for some reason, ladies and gentlemen, let me pause the music. We'll be real serious right here. For some reason, ladies and gentlemen, Stark yet again is not here and not available. If you want to be a co-host of the Ronin Radio, please send your CV in to @the Ronin Radio on X. DM us. You know, you just have to be able to make noises, all right? And you'll do better than Stark, all right? So that's what's happening today. It's me and Theban. We're gonna get into it and assess these scenarios right now. But one of the big things that we will look over is a recap of yesterday's treasure spaces with Ronin. And what they was kind of talking about. And also another Ronin game, Lumaterra, has announced that they're partnering with Monad, which is another AI enterprise. I don't know what to call these companies that are doing AI right now. But why not treasure? You know, do you find that weird? Do you like that? You let us know in the comments what you think. This is what I think. AI gaming is going to be the catapult. It is going to be the catalyst as well. But if it's AI slop, it will not. And I will catch you in about 5 minutes when we are ready and set up to start the show. Thank you for being here early. And please, as always, make sure you share this content around. We actually are giving out Creator of the Weeks right now. And you can win that Creator of the Week. You want to know the easiest way? Here's the alpha. You make clips of the Ronin Radio. That is how you become a great. You will almost be demigod if you make clips of the Ronin Radio. And on that note, I will catch you guys in 5 minutes. Bear with us, have some patience, but today is going to be a banger. Wait. Trevor. You're saying Monad is cheeks? Because Lumaterra just partnered with them, so like we're gonna have to dive into that conversation. I don't know. I hadn't heard of them. If I'm being deadly serious. So yeah, there's a lot of things to uncover there. They did make a post today. Lark reposted it and wrote some comments on it, but it actually sounds like a different approach than what treasure kind of sounds like. I actually caught the tail end of the space yesterday, and funnily enough, you were the one asking questions at that time, so we can go into that a bit more. And if Trevor, if you're free, you're down, I can send you a link. You can come into the studio and come join the conversation. I'll tell the bouncers that you're all cool, and and we can see what happens. But yeah, if you're down for that, bro, just send me a DM and we'll sort it out. But yeah, so much combo to be had. Rallo said deep cheek. I don't even know what that means, bro. I don't even know what deep cheek means. Oh, shit. On that note, though, actually, shout out to Rallo and shout out to my motherfucking brother Logic, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Community members linking up in professional environments. Annie Chess and Cambria are gonna do some cool shit. I don't know what's going down, but I trust both of them motherfuckers. And yo, it sounds like a cook. Benzi's a G. If Annie Chest hired my boy Rallo, then they're real as well, and they don't mind someone being fucking bluntly honest in their face. So I'll fuck with that. So that should be cool too. If you haven't even seen Annie Chest yet, well, maybe put it on the to-do list outside of the Ronin realm, mate. But enough of that. 5 more minutes. Oh, I said that earlier. So about 3 more minutes. Really, I'm just waiting for Theban to get here. But, have some fucking patience. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's a live show. This is a real live show. What can you do? Oh, and GM to my broski out there, man. Mr. Peru himself. Lima in the house, bro. Big shout out to you, man. Shout out to Zio as well. Excited to see. Did you see his post yesterday, everyone? You see his post? He's cooking, man. I'm telling you, in the next 5 years, Zio will actually be like, we're in the phase of like Hollywood is dead, right? I think Zio will be new age Hollywood, digital Hollywood. No cap. Shout out to my boy Zio. Shout out to Lima. Hell yeah, let's fucking get it. You know what? I'm going to be a little bit of a stickler here and say one thing I don't see enough in the chats, especially when they're coming from X, is that phrase where it says da 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 so and so reposted the stream. I'm not going to lie to you lot. It ain't that hard. You know, if you press the 3 little dot buttons in the top, yeah, and you can repost the stream. It's like retweeting a tweet, bro. Would you not retweet the Ronin Radio? You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Oh, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it might be time. It might actually be time. I think it is time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start this motherfucking show. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. I'm telling you, we are on the precipice of the real fucking bull market, bro. What happened? What happened, bro? What happened, bro? What happened, bro? Hey, yo, listen. No, the bull market is that strong that the electromagnetic field force of all the bullshit threw me out the stage. I don't know what happened, but I'm back. Okay, let me be real. I'm bringing you the energy today because I think it is full steam ahead from here. I'm not gonna lie. I like that's just me. That's what I think. But let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know. Do you feel the bull coming or what? What are we saying? Either way, welcome to the Ronin Radio. If this is your first time tuning in, then welcome. It was a great little intro for you. See me rug. That's traditional. So you're welcome. You got a souvenir right out the gate. But we are the key. Your link to the Ronin ecosystem, and Ronin is positioning itself in a narrative of being one of the keys to the Ethereum ecosystem. Do you believe it? I absolutely do. Now, there's a bunch of things that are starting to percolate, which is one of Jihos's favorite words. It just reminds me of him every time I say it. But things are starting to percolate. And then a lot of the conversation around a bull run was like, yeah, bull run, yeah, you know, rotation will happen. It will be AI again. But it seems like everyone and their mother in gaming right now is clambering. They're scrabbling. They're scraping to try and get on the AI agent or agentic narrative for gaming. So it is our diligence as participants in this space, mate, to identify AI slop or not, all right? Because that's actually going to be key, all right? And that's going to be one of the main points of the show today, talking about AI, talking about the types of experience that we have ready for us and available, talking about what's actually capable, potentially. Also, which I think isn't spoken about enough, talking about what kind of experience does the consumer actually want? Because from a personal standpoint, it feels as if what's being pushed upon us as AI and gaming is only that of which is capable right now, and not actually what a consumer has professed that they have wanted. So, you know, that's where we're going to go to today with our conversations. And of course, we have today, we're doing it, trialing it for the first time. Shout out to the cute Asian girl community, right? The CAG ticker. The ticker is CAG. Why did I say it the wrong way around? The ticker is CAG, right? We're doing a raffle announcement for them today. And I'll explain to you guys what that is. If you are outside of the CAG ecosystem, you'll learn something about it today. But if you are in the CAG ecosystem and you have your shit ready to go and you're waiting for that number, that oh so lucky song, we will be choosing it and selecting it for you guys today. So somebody is getting 333 run if they're a 1 of 1 holder, and then a bunch of people are going to get distributed 333 run on top of that for picking the right lucky song today. Further conversations will go into potentially, well, actually, I do want to talk about this. This is the Axie Codex. It's one of the recent announcements. Shade, aka Jeff Cam, has been put in on his timeline. Things about the codex, actually candidly asking questions. This is the approach that we like. If you're going to ship something, please have a conversation with us first, and maybe we'll ship something better. They're taking that lead, and I've got the tweet so we can go look through those questions too, and you guys can participate in that. On top of that, I want to look at the treasury that was put together. Shout out to people in the contributors channel who put together a platform in which the Axie Treasury exists. A lot of talented individuals there. So we'll look at the treasury, but something I want to identify, I'll show you later on. So I'll leave you with the ambiguity and the anticipation of the end of the show. Might be so fucking interesting. I can't leave, and I have to share this show around Twitter right now. And then we'll talk about Ronin V2 because I have all of the news and all of the knowledge. So if that wasn't the hook to keep you here for the whole show, then there it fucking is. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm fucking pumped like the market. So let me bring in Theban to calm us down just a little bit and add some actual sense and logic to this show. My brother from another, it's the Ronin Radio. Let's get ready. What's good, my bro?
Where's the elevator music?
We got out the elevator. We're on the top fucking floor. And we're ready to go skydiving. Are you ready?
Yeah. We're ready, man. Oh, you went on a full-on rant today, eh? Holy smokes!
Because
or has the rant started yet?
No, the rant hasn't even like you don't even know. You don't like. I've been very quiet over this weekend. I made maybe 2 tweets since Friday, which is terrible for my profession as a creator here. But sometimes you just gotta shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And just listen a bit. I mean, the only tweet I made of significance this last 3 or 4 days is replying to Hantal last night, calling him a lazy cunt. That's probably my favorite interaction for the last 3 days. It wasn't like malicious. It was tied into the Gila AI agent that will exist. And his job is to call AI agent users lazy cunts just to humble them every now and then, you know. And so yeah, that's been me on social media the last few days. I know you spend time with the family over the weekend, but how are you, my friend? Where are you at with things right now? I know you see what's happening with this market.
Yeah, man. Like, actually, this weekend was really nice because I got to, like, I feel like for the first time in, I don't know, months or something, where I got to just spend the whole weekend with the kids and, you know, the wife and everything, and just be able to unwind a little bit. And I'm ready. I'm ready for what's next, what's coming in this market. I think Ethereum right now is sitting at like 4,400. It just cracked that.
Yeah,
Things are starting to get crazy because we see that rotation, right? Where it goes from like Bitcoin, then to Ethereum, and then like from Ethereum all to all the alts.
yeah.
And alt season hasn't really started yet, right?
Mm-mm.
In theory, so we'll see. But again, like these markets, they become less and less not predictable, but they change, right? Because that's how they catch you. Because you
Mm-hmm.
think something's gonna happen and then it doesn't happen, and then you're the one left
On the
providing the
wrong side of a bad
liquidity.
trade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. The wrong side of a bad trade. So let's see. I'm always gonna be cautious in these kind of situations. I think for any traders, it's more so about like, you know, taking some chips off the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing where things go and just being happy with where you're at.
Yeah.
So
I think one thing that's hard to quantify, and upon quantifying it is actually making calculated decisions around it, is the speed, the velocity at which things may or may not happen.
mhm.
It seems like bull markets like have retarded market structure, which is very unpredictable in itself. So then it becomes even more difficult to kind of preempt or predetermine like moves in the right direction or even changes in the wrong direction if you are bullish, of course. But yeah, so be safe, Ronin, out there in the wild. Be safe. But at the same time, I've listened to a few conversations over the weekend. And what I've started doing actually is becoming a clipper myself. So I'm watching a lot of content and I'm clipping 30 seconds to a minute of like content elsewhere and compiling that together, because I think like if I can sit and consume content and then go and tweet about it, like that's great, but I'm not very good at that medium. So why not just actually clip stuff and be able to utilize that in video format on the show itself and those type of things. So that's kind of my focal over the weekend. I made maybe 50 clips of just different things. But the conversation I've been hearing, Ethereum is stupidly bullish. So you know, let's see how that goes. Where we need to go today though is we've got to talk about uncovering all this AI talk, right? Because it started off with Moki or with Moku and Grand
Yeah.
Arena and their ideology around AI agents in a experience. And this is for argument's sake. You guys can let us know in the chat what you think here about this, but they're not creating a game. Like they're actually professing it as a Web3 application. Which I think for marketing reasons, you're going to have to change that name at some point or that description. But they're not actually marketing it as a game. So although there are similarities with this agent narrative, it's pretty different to actually having these agents plugged directly into existing games, right? And so there's two different arcs of AI and gaming, or AI and gamification experience. I don't really think they're in the position to be pit against each other right now. But I mean, at this early phase, in this premature phase, like, is there a preference that you maybe have like eventually getting into the question of like what experience do you actually want from AI in gaming?
Yeah. For me, it's pretty simple. I just want I just want the AI to not only be able to play for you, but you be able to tell it what to do, and it adjusts and all the stuff, whatever that you imagine or you envision.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to try these ones yet in Fishing Frenzy, sort of say. I don't even know if it's like you can actually interact with it and adjust the stuff it does, or it's just like a few lines of code. If it's just
So
like a
yeah,
bot and like not really an AI, right? So, have you had a chance to try it?
I haven't tried it, but yesterday they had a space for me in the UK time. It was at 3 a.m. in the morning. I, I I don't
Yeah, it
know
was
why.
actually like around 10 p.m. for me, and I was putting the kids to sleep, so
Yeah,
I got to hear like very little bits of it because obviously I don't want to get in trouble waking up my kids.
yeah.
But yeah, so
I saw that. I caught the tail end, but our
oh
lovely
yes,
creator Dash Red,
he's the
of
best man.
course, has a recap of that space. So we'll read through it briefly. You know, not reading every word for word, maybe word for word if I've got nothing else to say. But so we'll catch up on what that space was actually spoken about. But I did overhear it towards the end, like Trevor briefly talking about like, you know, would we be training it and those types of questions. So maybe it'll be uncovered here. But Treasure's AI agents are now on the Ronin network with Fishing Frenzy integration. It was hosted by Nix, G-Host, and John Patton, and Derek was there as well from Fishing Frenzy. So people were asking what are Treasure AI agents. John Patton, who is from Small Dev, they described them as collectible companions that play games like Fishing Frenzy, gather items in game, complete tasks, etc. And he actually said that this is like a proprietary in-house development. So they're not like leveraging or outsourcing the AI agents from somewhere else. Like, for example, I could say, yo, I have a company, and then everything that I'm using AI could be, I don't know, like from Virtual's studio, right? But they're not. They've built this in house. They begin as a basic NFT, learn skills and strategies over time, and gain unique value as cross game assets. On agents improving game experiences in Ronin, G-Host ties it to early gaming bots from games like Diablo, akin to a management style play. Solves busy player issue, having the ability to set up an agent for me to farm and progress through the game continuously. That's something that makes a lot of sense. I think we stop here and kind of address that early answering of like what are the Treasure AI agents. And I'm just gonna add on to like the type of language that I heard from the space. It doesn't sound, and this might be a jump to conclusion, but it doesn't sound to me as if they are anywhere near as complex or as sophisticated as maybe people are anticipating. You know, like
Yeah.
I don't want to be a dickhead here,
Yeah.
right?
I
Like,
got you.
but I'm gonna keep it 100. I got involved with virtuals in early December, right after YGG Play Summit, um, with the Joker AI, right? And although there was interesting things that you could do with it, you know, it really was unless you are a full stack dev and know what the fuck you're really doing to plug that thing in APIs to APIs and like actually know what the fuck you're
They
doing and
were
not
Twitter
vibe
bots.
coding.
Let's be real.
Yeah, they were Twitter bots, right?
That was the meta.
Yeah. There is an extension here. This is me not. I'm not in no way, shape, or form am I saying that the AI agents that we're talking about here are Twitter bots. They're not. Um, there just isn't that much. Like it's a bit of a is that it? Feel to
Yeah.
AI in the past, right? This has advanced. They're talking about obviously the NFTs allow it to be cross game, right, or interchangeable between games, which is a capability that hasn't really existed in the wild of AIs unless you were the full stack dev because you couldn't plug the agent into applications, right? So this is a way to plug the agent into these applications. And yeah, so like at this phase, it's not, I guess, as intelligent as we might anticipate it to be. And the only way to really experience that is to go and try it out for yourself. Of course, the only experience that you can test it in right now is Fishing Frenzy. When you look at it as a game, not the most complex of gameplay in itself. And what does that speak towards? But just in an instance of what the agents are, what you expected, far from it. What do you think about the narrative or the positioning of what these agents will be?
Right, it's because I get to work with some other people with like AI and stuff. I think this is roughly where the public is at, essentially, like with what you can access to.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. I think anything more than this is actually quite expensive, and it takes a lot of studying / effort. Maybe it's not ready for the public yet.
Mhm.
I think what you're paying for is probably not worth, right? Like, but it's more so you're paying for like using a prototype, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what I see this as. It's like a prototype, and then as people learn how to make it better, use it better, and then like there's like better base agents that you can adopt, and then you can change it for yourself for like gaming. I think it's not really gonna see as much use as you would probably like it to.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
actually, I don't think anyone's really spoken too much about the infrastructure of what this is as a product,
yeah,
right? Like we're kind of like dancing around that aspect. You know how expensive it would be to have, let's say, for example, a product like this has product market fit and everybody is raving about it and it is the next wave and you want it, right? You've got thousands and thousands of these agents that are all storing their own data, right?
hmm
To remember how to participate in these games, to be able to be trained, etc. Like even just server side, like I don't know the technicalities here, but I feel as if that sounds expensive to me. Sounds expensive.
yeah, and
So
that's why you are paying like what you're paying, right? You gotta
yeah,
pay magic, you gotta pay tokens for using it, like some kind of gas, and so on. So that makes a lot of sense. What I'm wondering
yeah,
right now is like how many people are actually gonna use this? You know? Like
yeah,
that's a better question probably, right? And also we need enough education around it. Like someone has to come out and be like, okay, this is how you use it, this is what you do, this is what
yeah,
I gain from it, this is what is possible, and so on and so on, right? Like
yeah,
ChatGPT is super simple. It's like a freaking Google for most people, for your everyday user,
yeah,
right? But how do you use that AI agent for gaming? Like you were saying, oh yeah, now you have a chance to compete with other botters and so on. But then like, okay, then how do you do it, right? Like unless someone literally goes out there and shows exactly how you do it step by step, it's very unlikely that this is gonna see a lot of like use case, because it's still something that is like previously seen as taboo for a lot of people, right? Now you're normalizing it. So it's like you kind of have to break that barrier.
yeah. But I'm looking right now at the platform itself, right? We're on the Treasure website where you can create and activate an agent. You have the ability to choose KOLs, but you can also make a personalized one or a unique one. So this is Agent Twat. His description is he's a twat. His personality is based off of my X account, and then you can also add YouTube videos for them to base their personality around. This won't go backwards. I don't know why. Okay, well, there we go, there we go, there we go. So like you can basically create that, but you can also use your NFTs. Of course, you see Axes, Cyberkongs are in there as well. There's like 300 plus Axes here, so I'm not going to scroll through it. But you could, for example, take an NFT, which this is the cool point, because as well this adds a layer of value to NFTs as well in their own right. So you'd be able to name your NFT, now start assigning a personality to this PFP or a character that you know have fandom around, and base their personality around certain things. YouTube URL, you can base their personality around YouTube videos. I don't know how many you could add here, but we could find out. And then also you can base your agent's personality on websites as well. Like I wonder what is the most degenerate concoction that you could do right here with like YouTube videos and like I don't know, Reddit pages or something. Like you could probably create an actual monster But this is available to do right now. From like doing this, you'll then have to pay 150 magic tokens to actually activate the agent itself. So that's how you go and do it.
I
Beyond
think it's
that,
150, right?
yeah, 150 magic. And magic is, I mean, I
It's
could
like 30
check.
cents, something around there.
Yeah, we don't have to
Yeah,
check
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, that's the process that you would go through to initiate your agent, and then obviously further steps into fishing frenzy. But as of right now, broskies, and I mean, I can do the fishing frenzy thing already in like 20 minutes.
No, you gotta understand, right? This is just the beginning of what it is, right? Like they launching this product because they feel like now is the best time to launch it,
It's a front run,
right?
yeah.
Right? Because look at the market. Things are
Mhm.
heating up. Let's build some momentum. Let's get some narrative pushing and so on. If this catches on and we're like in the deep of like an alt run, then Magic will be one of the
Magic
things
would be
that will
massive.
do extremely well, right?
Yeah.
And what I like about what they did with Magic is instead of partnering up with virtuals, they're kind of competing with virtuals in a way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So they're like going like, okay, you want your McDonald's, like maybe we wanted you, maybe now you're too hot and you're like, well, you don't want to come here. Okay, fuck it, we're gonna go get Burger King,
Yep.
right? I'm gonna put it
Yeah.
right beside you. Let's go. Let's
I was
let's go
actually
into battle.
surprised Virtuals didn't make that partnership with Ronin, but they were so integrated within base ecosystem that yeah,
It's
just
not only that, it's once you're already made it and then people come knocking on your door, your price goes up dramatically, right? So
yeah.
drastically, like you can't you can't expect something like that once, like whatever virtuals did. I mean, they probably made everybody in their company rich,
Hmm.
right? So Magic is here. And obviously we're going for the AI gaming angle, which I think is completely fair. I think it's really smart because it's a natural connector with like what we already have on Ronin. Fishy Frenzy is going to be the first game. I want to be able to play every game with an agent if I can,
Yeah.
but it needs to be a lot more sophisticated, and that's what I'm missing for myself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what the way I see it, so they launched this agent. They had like a few KOLs and stuff. I even made a tweet about it. I was like, you know what? Why are they all KOLs? Kind of, like I was like, why did they put all KOLs? Why don't we get like someone who we know is known for actually playing games like
Yeah.
in a very like deep at a deep level, and like try to get them to like really be partnered and involved instead of just making a marketing push. So when I saw like this was more so about a marketing push than it was like about getting someone who has played all these games and like spends hours and hours in them like to completion, right? Or at least to an extremely high level. Yeah, I was like, you know what, maybe it's not yet time for that, and that's why they didn't push on that, right?
Hmm.
So you
Hmm.
can see some signs, you can save some time and so on. Because if I'm gonna make an agent, you bet I'm gonna spend like all my free time trying to make it better,
Yeah. Yeah.
trying to go to every game that it has access to, trying to like figure out what it's doing wrong, trying to, debug like anything that is like unoptimal, and just try to make the best thing for anybody to be able to use it, right? Because if someone is like buying my agent or like subscribing to my agent and it's not better than everybody else's, what's the point?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's where this hits. What is it called when you like where the light really matched? Like, well, fuck you. Where like it catches fire. I'm trying to say, Jesus, where this catches fire. I think
Mhm.
when there's actually a reward system that could be psychologically, intrinsically rewarding, but also monetarily rewarding for effort and dedication and time spent within or towards the agent themselves, right?
Mhm.
For any user. I think once that becomes a realization, this could be the application that people spend most of their time in and allow their agent to be in the gaming applications
Well,
for
the
them.
reward is simple. The reward for that is like the result,
Yeah.
right? There's not going to be like an actual reward, right? Like there's no like, oh, here's play to earn, but if you work with your agent you get something. Like the reward is what it accomplishes at the end
Yeah.
of the task, right? Like you get your dopamine from that. um for gaming, I think what people really want, if I was to take myself out, is like they want the knowledge that somebody else has spent hours doing, right? Without
Yeah.
having to spend all those hours, so that they can make some decisions on their own. So maybe what they want in AI gaming is like they want knowledge about a game that they wouldn't have and they wouldn't be able to find on Twitter or
Yeah.
something. Or if they do need to find it on Twitter, it would take them a few hours to find the right place, the right post, and so on and so on. Where this can already have it. Then they
Mhm.
want to go in the game, they want to jump in, they want to figure out like, okay, what does this NFT do? Or what does this thing in the game do? Or what blah blah blah. Like these are the kind of small things they want. And sometimes the players, AI, like what they want with AI agents, apart from just like autoplay, they want the agent to tell you certain things to
Mhm.
improve your own gameplay,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Like
Without you
real
even
time
asking it.
co-pilot. Yeah.
Exactly, without you even asking it. Just like some tips, right? Like an actual coach, right?
Hmm.
It should be both ways. It should be able to coach you and you should be able to coach it,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
So it's more
Absolutely.
so as a companion than it is like you see it as a bot,
Hmm.
right? Because what you do with bots is you code it and it does what it's supposed to do, but this is more like a back and forth, like an actual partnership. And then
Yeah.
that's how like it's supposed to be, and that's probably the product that everybody actually wants when they think AI agents.
Yeah. It makes me think about like how how that becomes um possible. You know, like
Yeah.
for an agent to be able to traverse across every application that you interact with and kind of actually be there intelligently, seeing what you're seeing, hearing what you're listening to, and hearing what you're saying, as well as being able to communicate with you. Just technically, that's like a lot of it's a lot of development, and our applications and how the internet operates right now arguably isn't set up to facilitate that in the best way. And makes me think as well about like things that are happening in the crypto world, you know, the development of applications, you know, I see the base app and all that stuff. So maybe that is a direction you head towards, because all of those applications may be easier to traverse across rather than traditional internet. But ultimately, for a mass adoption, the traditional internet is going to have to be one of those locations in which it's capable of doing that. But I agree with your sentiment. Like, yeah, I want a co-pilot that also is like my partner in crime, and when I'm doing something, he can be sent out to you know do the other things, right?
Yeah.
And whilst also being there with me playing Battlefield 6 and saying, bro, you suck, stop running out in the open, you know, like the camaraderie as well that comes with it. There's a lot of things that I guess the consumer would demand, and we're just very early. So although anticipation for that is there, you know, there has to be a realistic expectation on what will actually exist. So, but just to leave up on this space, thank you, Dashred, for this this the recap on the space itself. If you know you're not following Dashred on X, he's a great person to be following in the Ronin ecosystem right now, because he's doing recaps even on Ronin Radio on a bunch of stuff that happens in the space that if you've missed and it's a live event, he'll have a recap for you. So go ahead and give him a follow. But I think this was the important part, really, was talking about the roadmap, and John from Smallverse was talking about that, saying that growing autonomy, where agents self-improve and handle complex tasks independently, is part of what they'd want to accomplish. This enables scholarship models through skill differentiation, plus guilds, teams, 3D games, and roles like NPCs or monsters. So it's not just as the companion of a user. They're also looking at the implementation of agents within game universes themselves. But the companionship, like you mentioned, Theben, a lonely person can form, but this is on a different perspective, different point of view. A lonely person can form guilds with these things, soul food, to have this friend that you're experiencing games with. To me, that's a little sad, just a little tad sad. But the whole guild aspect is like that's pretty. That's another fucking question in itself. I'd actually like to hear from Cairo on this as well, as like a guild leader, to see kind of what he's thinking of agentic capabilities. Does that enhance his
Okay, look,
ideas, etc.?
whatever we got from this, take it and then like divide it by, I don't know, like it's like a 1/10. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? 1/10 of what you read right now is probably where we're at in
Yeah.
terms of being able to accomplish,
Yeah.
okay, those things. Okay,
Well, here's some
so
more. Did
simmer
you see
simmer
this?
down the expectations for now. What is this?
Go ahead, give it a read.
Experience agentic interaction sandbox that trains AI agents directly from how you play, converts gameplay behavior into on-chain intelligence, turns skill into a programmable, ownable asset, opens the door to tokenizing any human expertise. Keep shipping. Coming to
Ambitious as
Monad.
fuck. But this, in my opinion, and we're not pitting things against each other here, but this sounds more like closer in line with some of your desires from
Yeah,
these
yeah, yeah,
agents,
yeah.
right?
No, no. We spoken to Lark, and we know that like that guy's a real gamer, and like he
Mhm.
understands the mindset of a gamer. So this is really good. Like this actually exactly what we're talking about, what I've been talking about over like the last uh couple of months or even almost a year now, I would say.
Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of like shit about Monad in
Wait,
this in
click.
the chat.
Can you click
Why?
back for a sec? Go to original tweet.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. No, this is cool though. I think it's great because I think the way I see Lumitera, right? Like obviously it all depends on if they're gonna do like the same server or not, right? Like them launching on Ronin first and then having all these assets, all these things, like if they're using the same server for everybody, like you gotta also understand for the users who are on Ronin, like all those guys are buying in higher,
Yeah.
right? They're buying in stuff because like after the fact that you've already farmed and like you got all these things, so it's like you're the pioneer, and then here comes in number two, right? The next set of people, and like they're gonna be buying in higher, and like I think these kind of partnerships and these multi-chain things are good as long as like you're taking care of like your community, right? Who was
Mhm.
there beforehand. It's only not good when like you're splitting up your communities, right? When like yeah.
Sorry, look at the chat. Yo, fuck you, bro. I said I'm insta dying because I own Gila's playstyle in Lumitera. That's
Oh
probably
no.
true, bro. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm seeing so much shit talking about Monad. I've not even had any exposure to Monad. This is my first time hearing about
Yeah,
them.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So I can't be too quick to judge. But I mean, Trevor, are you saying that the dog like that? That's interesting. I don't know. So
Yeah, I mean, well, again, like it all depends specifically on like the way that they do it, right? Is it a partnership or is it more like, okay, here you go, we're gonna go here now, like what happened with like cross chain, for example, right? Cross chain
uh-huh.
was like they're creating a new server for their people there. Like then it doesn't make sense, right? Then you're just cucking everybody. But like this is more so like, okay, they found this is the best place to be able to launch AI. Maybe they got a bit more money, right? Some
Mhm.
another raise from it, and they're able to implement one more aspect into their game, their ecosystem. And if it's for their survivability, but also bringing in something that advances AI gaming forward, then it makes sense.
Yeah. Honestly, you know what? I really think it is about application implementation, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. This is again, I'm jumping at it, right? But let's actually go back to sharing the screen and we can look at Monad a little bit more. Monad is a layer one blockchain bringing parallel execution to the EVM, 10,000 transactions per second. Who cares? Account run by the Monad Foundation. So it's its own layer one, right? Now, in it being its own layer one. So what I'm thinking about here, what's coming to my mind is like the reason I couldn't do shit with the Joker AI is because I have no clue how to do anything with fucking APIs. I didn't even know what it fucking abbreviated
Okay.
last year. All right, the capability of an agent is its ability to access these different locations. So I believe if a space is engineering right all of their applications, there's almost like an industry standard that eventually arises because of AI application. um these spaces are basically saying we're committed to doing this, so every single application that we have in our environment will be accessible by these agents because that's the standard that we're setting from now on. But I think we're in that phase, and maybe some of the collaborations are doing that. I think that's, this is my opinion, right? I think that's why Treasurer with Ronin, not one because they were gaming and they were competitors in some degree. It wasn't going to happen. Let's just be fucking frank, right? They weren't going to outdo the Ronin network. They sidelined gaming, they converted to AI, and now there is aligned interest because Ronin is going to need AI capacity, and
You
they're
know
also a
what?
network.
The only thing that doesn't make sense to me is, so we got Treasure, right? It's like a
Mhm.
trade, bro. It's like Treasure is coming into Ronin, and
Yeah,
Lumiterra launches AI thing somewhere else. Like
yeah.
what? That's the only part that like is like,
That's
because
why I said scrambling,
because
scraping, like
because I'll
because
say
everybody
this,
wants to
right?
be there.
The way Lumiterra has built their agent is like exactly what I think or where I think they should be headed to,
Yeah.
right? Like look what it says here, right? Like, for your agents, you can get trained by multiple users, forked into new strategies, get rented, invested in, improved from collaborations, plug into games, DeFi, social layers, earn yield when you're offline. Like you can whatever you do, right? Your agent learns how you play and gains intelligence. This essentially is represented on chain as programmable, ownable asset, like, and someone can buy it, right? Imagine like I
Imagine a
play,
top trader.
yeah, imagine I play Axie, right? And then like someone, okay, first of all, I don't think any trader is gonna put their asset online. Is if someone does, they're probably gonna be one of like
What?
not
But
a
what
very good
if
trader.
there was trading commissions or fees?
Oh, that's true. There could be, but like a really good trader is making like millions a day. Like
Yeah.
they don't really
Well,
care.
it allows them to retire. You do really well for a set period of months. The agent is trained. It's consistent. It
Yeah, but
actually.
like the more people who use your style, the less profitable it becomes.
Oh yeah, and then eventually, adoption happens, and markets will be made in the opposite stance, right?
Yeah,
Like the.
and gaining a new edge is like one of the most difficult thing to do,
Mhm.
right? So like you have your edge, no one's gonna share their edge, right? And when it comes to trading, but for gaming, that's a little bit different, right? Because gaming is a lot about psychology and like execution. So if the agent can truly embrace all those things that is being spoken and like can really bring it into like a code or something or whatever programmable and like people can actually buy it, that's awesome. Because imagine if I play Axie and suddenly you're like, you can see it online that I'm putting my information like for sale, how many people
Mhm.
will buy it just for like a last couple of days of pushing, right?
Yeah.
Or some sort of say, right? So it's like, that's really cool. It's a nice option to have. I don't know how many people will obviously use it, but I think this is what last year I was talking to teams and I was like, they were like wondering, okay, we don't know what to do anymore, right?
Mhm.
Gaming is not cooking as hard as we thought it would. People are fading it now. Maybe the gaming bull run happened in early 2024. What do we do? And I was like, I think like the low hanging, not the maybe back then it wasn't the low hanging fruit, but it was like, why don't you guys get involved with AI already, right? Why don't you
Mhm.
implement as much of AI as you possibly can into your game, and like make it easier to acquire users? Because some of these games are just too difficult, and they take way too much time to play, right? Who the hell in this world has like 10 hours a day to play a game now, right?
Yeah.
It's impossible. And like
It'd be
with
tough.
how short our attention spans are in this like streaming era, right? Like even if you had the time, you wouldn't put in the time to play 10
Yeah.
hours a day.
Yeah.
So a lot of these games that were built were based on those kind of models, right? Because they launched all these like builds from like 2021, right? Or these ideas from 2021, and it was a completely different time then, right? What games were hot? We had COVID, everybody was at home, they were like spamming games anyway because they
Mhm.
didn't have to work. And so yeah, so like this AI agents kind of like fix that in a way, right? If it gets to the point where it can fix that, where like
Yeah.
it does all the grunt work, all the hard work for you, and then you get to reap the dopamine at the end, which is the
Yeah.
rewards that come out of it, right? From
Yeah.
like the end result. And all the stuff in the middle, that's opportunity for other people, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
There's
And there's a
something
lot.
there
There's a lot in the
for other
middle.
people.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's only right as well as if you want to actually look at it in detail, the height or the peak of what was like the first phase of the bull, especially for gaming, right? We rewind back to last November, and like price points of things is like Ronin itself or Ron itself. AI came right at that peak. Like virtuals was brought to life really and started to catch fire around that point, and a lot of that was rotational out of gaming into AI, and since then it hasn't really come back. So now gaming having AI probably is that catalyst to concentrate those funds, those investments, and those hedged bets essentially. So it is what it is. But we've had a good combo on the AI agents. I think there's a lot of semantics. I think it would be really, really nice to have a dev, someone that is hands-on building with AI right now on the show, so that we could elaborate a little bit further around infrastructure and actual capacity or capabilities of agents themselves and building. Again, yes, people aren't going to want to give their edge away, but just to have a little bit more of an intellectual conversation around certain things, I think is something that we can aim to try and accomplish. So I'll do my diligence. I'll go out and see who would like a conversation like that, and see what we can do. But what do you think about AI agents as of right now? And yeah, let us know, bro. You can tweet at us. You can put it in the comments as well right now. But either way, we're moving on to the fucking CAG raffle.
Hang on.
Yo.
Well, while you set that up, I'll answer some questions in the chat.
Okay.
I remember a time most hated bots in Axie leaderboard, etc. Now we're embracing them. Well, the reason why you hated the bots is because you couldn't do it, right?
Yeah.
You didn't have the choice to do it. So when you're in that moment and you feel like you can't compete with this, you're gonna say something about it, right? But then if everybody's provided the same tools and is easily accessible, the sentiment changes, right? So that's why it's different. And secondly, bots has been an endless fight for games since they've existed, and there's something to be gained for it, right? From World of Warcraft Gold, RuneScape Gold, whatever it is till today, right? Even Dota has bots because of accounts being boosted and so on. So this kind of levels the playing field, and whether you like it or not, unfortunately, that's the only way. There literally isn't another way. There's no other like bot detection, because they just get smarter and smarter, and it's just funds being lost on every end just to fight it.
Yeah.
Isn't the
even
grunt work...
Geo's mentioned Diablo, right? Like the early days, like people had bots back then. Like
yeah, isn't the grunt work the fun part though? You know what? For some people, yes, right? For a lot of people, no. Right? Think about it this way: how many times have you ever played GTA 2 or 3 or whatever, GTA, right? And then you've used cheat codes, right? So that you can get the tanks, right? You can get, whatever guns. You just summon a flamethrower, right? Think about it. That's just cutting corners. Same thing, right? That's the grunt work that you would have to go through the whole game just to do that. Are you gonna go through all that just to get a flamethrower at the end of the game, or you want a flamethrower in the middle of the game because you're bored, right? So it's kind of similar to that, right? If you've ever used any kind of cheat code, or you cut corners somewhere in life, or like whatever it may be, you know what it feels like. You just want the end result.
Yeah. It's always existed. Like one of the things, even Derek said this on our last show last Thursday, and he said it again last night in the space, is that this actually is leveling the playing field. It's like they're already at war with bots, right? The gaming industry at large. So if they're able to present something that gives you equal opportunity, like
hell, even jerking off is the same thing, right? You just get to the end reward. So everyone's gonna be a hypocrite, like the grunt work is like, going through the process of dating, you gotta go through like the whole courting stuff and whatever, right? And
why that fucking example?
Because I realized that we all like we are cutting corners, you know, all around the
In
world.
every aspect of life. Yeah.
Exactly.
The next time you're jacking
Exactly.
off, just know you're cutting corners, bro. Anyway, let's get into this. Talking about jacking off, we got some cute Asian girls to jack off to. We've got a Wheel of Fortune to use, and I'm going to explain it because I didn't understand this, right? I didn't understand this until the other day. I didn't even know that CAG had so much community stuff going on. One thing I'm actually going to show you before we dive into this is Cute Asian Girl website facilitates many different things. I didn't realize the CAG NFTs and CAG holdings like contribute to so many rewards that they are distributing. They have Zentry access as well. Also validate a staking raffle. So validator rewards get redistributed to CAG holders. There's content creator contests as well. So there's a bunch of stuff happening with CAG. If you're in the CAG community, then you'll know. If you're not, then like this is probably your entry, because I had no idea either, right? But one thing that exists in the CAG NFT ecosystem is there's certain trait, right? And I didn't know about this at all, but the fragments are different songs. There's 33 songs, right, that are all unique, and all of their NFTs essentially are tied to one of those songs.
Wow.
Right? So if you
Only
have an
two accounts have all the songs.
yeah, and they're super whales, bro. Like I don't know what 40 million CAG is at today's market price, but that's definitely a whale right there. But each one of these CAGs are tied to the fragment. There's 33 songs, 33 unique songs. I don't even know how I got there, so I gotta keep going back until I get there. Here we are.
That's really cool.
Yes. So you can actually fill out your collection using the website. It helps you, it assists you. So if I wanted song number 1, I'd be in here and it's music fragment number 1, and it actually will show me, what's available for sale. Also, the not for sale, so you can make the offers. So if you want to actually start collecting the songs, this would be how you do it. And like I said, you pick a unique song number 4. Oh, it's my favorite. You'll go ahead and secure a CAG that is tied to music fragment number 4. If you collect all 6 of them, then of course you'll be entered into these weekly raffles. So there is 33 songs. The 2 songs that win get excluded from the next raffle, and the songs that won last time was song number 8 and song number 30. So if you have those songs, tough shit, tough luck. But the other songs, the other 31 songs are here listed 1 through 33, excluding those 2 numbers I just mentioned. And whichever number this lands on will be the lucky song for this time round, for this raffle. And we have the pleasure to do that. So if you have a CAG, here's your anticipated moment. We're happy to do this. We really want to actually, plug in with more communities across Ronin to help you guys, with your community endeavors. So shout out to CAG for reaching out about this, and we're more than happy to do this. So if there's other builders out there, other projects out there that want to get involved with the Ronin Radio, by all means, the door is very much open. But let's get this one under the fucking microscope. Which number will it be? Predict in the chat right now. If you're right and you don't have CAG shit, I might just send you like something for a meme. All right. So predict your numbers 1 to 33, exclude 8 and 30. I'll give you 2 seconds. 1, no more seconds. Predict a number. We're clicking it. We're spinning it. Let's see who is winning the lucky song. The lucky song of the week is song number. Oh, I thought it was going to swap to 31, but it is song number 29 that is taking the mustard home today, ladies and gentlemen. If you are a collector of song 29, you are in the money. Actually, I think we can go and check who may. No, we can't. All right. Well, actually, no, wait. Song 29. Here it is. So all of you guys that have the "if you know" stamp, right? The 1 of 1 holder, whichever they are, they get 333 RON directly to them. Then everybody else that isn't the 1 of 1 holder that is categorized to music number 29, you're going to get distributed 333 RON between you all. And there's only 8 of you and 2 are ineligible. So there's only 5 of you. Then you got to distribute those 333 RON between you. So make sure you go into your Discords and double check with the team But the winning lucky song for this week is indeed song
That's
number
awesome, man. I,
29.
I I love what they're doing.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
nice though.
I remember back in the day, the competition was between Kag and Koku, and then now Koku is just like in the gutter, dead, and like no community, nothing. Kag is
Kag
still
went for
going,
community, bro.
man.
Yeah,
Kag,
Kag
Kag,
went for
Kag.
community.
Yeah, I mean, Ronki and Kag are like that's it. There's nothing that's beating them at least. But
Absolutely. Actually, wait, let me double check because I'm not sure. I might I might be doing two. I think I might be doing two spins today, so it
oh,
might still be within a chance.
oh,
Let me just double check. Yeah, I think it's two. I think it's two. If it's not two, I'm gonna do the second one anyway.
no, they said
Right?
it's just one.
It's
It's
just
just
one.
one. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I was almost giving out more on for you guys.
No, it's like
No,
no, stop,
no,
stop
no.
right there.
God damn. The winner is number 29, though, you cute Asian girls. Lads, can we listen to song number 29? Is that a thing? Can
Yeah,
we
can we actually?
actually
I would love to actually hear this. Can we actually hear it? Is it possible?
this is song number 29, but yo.
Kong was chilling on a sunny day, trading coins, watching markets play. Then he
Jeez,
saw her
okay,
smooth
yeah.
like silk, a cute Asian girl, finest in the guild. She said, "Hey Kong, you got that spark, but real wealth's built with love from
Yeah.
the heart." He laughed and said, "Then let's go bigger. This love got value. CAG is the ticker. CAG to the moon, we rise
I was thinking of a different
together.
rhyming word, but let's go.
Through the bull runs through any
Hey,
weather.
there it is, mate. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. The winning song tag lucky song raffle this week is song number 29. Shout out to CAG, yo. You guys keep building. If you are yet to join the CAG community, bro, then you see they're cooking, they're doing stuff over there, which is more than
Oh,
I can say about a lot of
you didn't even
places.
play the whole song.
We got stuff to talk about, ladies
Okay,
and gentlemen.
all right. Well, I
We
was
got-
vibing, man.
Okay,
I was
sorry,
like,
we
all
could
right, that's
leave.
not bad. Wait, now I gotta know who made it. Was that AI or was
It's
it
gotta be
like
AI.
actual?
I'll put my money on AI, bro. I would, because I know how fucking good that thing is. Right, even like
Yo,
4 years ago, it was good.
You know what scares me is like AI scares me on the on the gooner side of stuff, man. That shit's gonna destroy people, especially our young men, man. I'm telling you, that's
The
gonna
Grok, the Grok
like
implementation, the app.
they're gonna we're like our kids growing like the kids growing up, they're gonna live in a generation of like not knowing what's real, and the stuff that they're gonna enjoy is gonna be so out of this world, unrealistic, that
They
reality
just
is
don't
gonna
like the
look
real
so
world.
dull. It's gonna
Yeah.
look so dull. It's gonna look so like nasty. Like,
Well, it's just
dude,
the
it's
dopamine.
gonna mess
Right?
people up, man. Yeah.
The
Exactly. Like,
dopamine baseline is just gonna be fucking up here, bro.
I
So
think
if
that
you was, yeah,
more than war, more than like anything of that, like that's the shit that really scares me, because if people start becoming like a bunch of zombies, then forget about war. No one cares about like what's gonna happen there. Like you're just gonna be it's that's rough to think about. But
yeah,
yeah. No more doom talk. Fuck the doom
yeah.
talk.
I was gonna
Let's
say,
get out of there.
yo.
You got me going somewhere else because of like all right. Yeah, but let's go back to CAG. That was awesome.
Yeah, but people are saying in the chat they're suspect right now. I don't know if you like they're saying, are you a huge gooner? Because you keep referencing it today. Like,
No.
sound like the fucking Moku community, right?
I spent a lot of my time studying psychology, right? Like not like in schools or something, but my own research, because as a
Do you want to
competitive
be Peterson?
as a competitive gamer, as a who likes to play games and winning games, I thought that was actually the best thing to study more than watching other people play, because I wanted to know how people thought, right? And I
Yeah.
want to also know how to make myself better, right? So in that process, I've gone down the rabbit hole many times of like understanding what it does to your psyche, these kind of things, right? So I can, and with knowing that, I can predict what's going to happen in the future, because like some people don't just 99.9% of people don't even think about what doing something results in your brain, right? Like people know that, oh, this makes me feel good, this doesn't make me feel good, right? But it's like if you know what's going to make you feel good and what doesn't make you feel good even before you do it, right, then you can avoid a lot of those problems.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you this question and then we'll transition straight over. But do you know Jordan B. Peterson? He's a fellow Canadian. He's actually a psychology professor.
Yeah, of course I know who he is.
Good.
Yeah,
Good,
make your
good,
bed.
good.
Make your bed, guys. Every morning, make your fucking bed.
My bed's not made. It's right behind me.
But he's got a great point. I mean, like they all kind of talk about very similar things, right? But in their own way.
Mhm.
Jordan Peterson. Who else we got? Well, who's that guy? The bald guy. Fuck, I forgot his name.
There's so many bold people in this planet. I was thought of Rare straight away, though.
Don't not him. Fuck. Why am I forget? The Tate brothers. That's what I'm thinking about.
Oh,
Andrew Tate. Yeah, like that. Like all those guys, they do the same thing for guys. They just do it in their own way, right? It's all like they're also
Joe Rogan.
influencers, you know. Yeah, I mean Joe. He's a great guy to listen to. He's more like neutral, right? He's more like neutral about those kind of things. But those are all people. Like if you go down like the psychology rabbit hole, like you're gonna study all of them at some point.
Yeah. Well, let's pivot away from the psychology rabbit hole and head to a rabbit hole we may be familiar with, which once was seen absolutely as a rabbit hole. And what the fuck is this thing? It is a little thing called Axie Infinity. Might have been the biggest trending token in the last bull run. Might have been over 4 billion in assets trading value. Might have been the next Axie. Axie is. Do you agree? I don't know. I want to take a look at the Codex announcement that happened in the town hall on Friday, I think it was. And then also, this is Jeff Cam's post asking questions openly about the Codex itself. He said, "This is the Codex, a battle pass system built on top of Axie Core and the bounty board. Drop your feedback plus questions here." Before we look at the questions, I'm just going to open this screenshot. I'm going to take a closer look at it. I'm actually going to open it in a different tab so we can zoom into stuff. But yeah, I mean, from the initial showcase of this, Battle Pass makes sense. I think it was always going to happen. There's a bit of crossover confusion between, what's Premier Bounty Board going to be then? Is this still going to exist? Those types of things. And the answer to that is that, yes, they will exist in tandem. But as someone that has been an consistent weekly participant of the Premier Bounty Board to then suddenly, not doing it at all and then collecting the slips instead, I don't like this. Would be a way to drive me back towards the Bounty Board, right? I feel like if I'm paying for the access to this battle pass and part of that battle pass is completing the Premier Bounty Board, it just then becomes a natural, habit, a routine that starts up again for me personally. I wonder, knowing that Theban, you were never really one for Premier Bounty Boards in terms of like your own dedication, participation, completion. How do you feel about
That's not true.
Battle Pass? Bro, come on.
I love Battle Pass. No, the thing in the side, I love the Premium Battle Bounty Board. I just didn't love it. So I loved it back in was it 2024? No. Judge this year. The start of this year. Oh my god, Battle Pass was crazy. Right? Even sorry, not Battle Pass, the Premium Bounty Board was crazy. Like people were buying slips.
Yeah.
I think they were buying slips for like I think it was like $20 for like 1,000 slips or something. It was crazy because like there was a lot of AXS was at a good price and it was dishing out a pretty decent amount. Yeah, I'm big for this. Like I think for people who play Axie like naturally, and do all the stuff naturally, this isn't gonna even feel like a job to them, right? For some, it's gonna feel like a job. It's gonna feel like work. But my question is, looking at this, what I would love to know is like how easy is it to complete all the levels?
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, how easy is it? Like, how many people do they want to complete all the levels, right? And are they gonna keep allowing quote unquote bots, right?
Mhm.
Like, to be able to accomplish that, right?
Yeah,
and
we'll get into that because one of the questions asks that, and Jeff Cam like totally ignores that side of the question.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
the point, why I say that, and I'm giving the quotes here, is because um I want, like, it would be awesome if it's like the most natural thing, and if like it's really difficult to complete all the levels because you would need some kind of collectible, right? Or like you need to play a ridiculous amount of games or something of that nature. But at the same time, you know, they have to balance this properly where the dopamine has to hit right, or else people won't push for it.
Yeah. I actually have a suggestion about dopamine. We'll expand on that in the final phases because let's not put me first. But I think there's a few things just from the screenshot that like initially I wanted to scope in on and understand. You were saying how easy is it to go from level to level? Obviously, the level 1 of the battle pass, then level 2, and so on and so forth. This screenshot shows that you are currently on level 5, heading towards level 6. The completion for level 6 is 3,000 of these CPs. I don't know what CP alludes to. Codex points potentially.
Yes, you got it.
Wow, look at that. Fucking genius out here. Then it begs the question, how are we earning Codex points? Someone also asked about this. You see these different tabs. Of course, daily missions are going to tell you how much CP potentially you earn for completing those things. But then Ascendant Wellsprings, we've never heard that ever before. And the question was actually asked about it. The response to that question was that we will have to save that information essentially. Let me find it where it was. Someone said like, what the fuck is the Ascended and whatever. Anyway, he basically said like we have to save some of the good stuff, right? So they're not going to tell us what that is as of just yet. Ties obviously into lore as well as Axie core here. But we'll go through each question and response, right? I think that would be a good way to look at it. Of course, if you guys have your questions today about this, then
Bro, I can't
please
even look up Jeff on my Twitter, man. What the fuck is this?
Have you got his name right? It's Jeffrey Cam.
Yeah, but like it's like I hate Twitter for this. Like, why do I have to write the whole thing just to find him? But like, I would love to ask the question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask it right now. How many people do you expect or want to have
Let's feature a theme of this.
completing the codex? Fuck you.
There we go. Yeah. Anyway, let's go question by question. Let's see if Jeff Cam answers live as well. That would be interesting. First question was by Nishi. Shout out to Nishi. From how it's worded, would it have a leaderboard? If so, will the current Premier Bounty Board keep its leaderboard, or will it be moved to the Codex? Jeff Cam says that the Codex will not have a leaderboard. The current Bounty Board leaderboard will remain. Players can continue to play the weekly bounty board without buying the codex. So it's not an absolute
you see, this is the thing about like battle passes, right? Battle passes, technically you can pay to win it by just buying more levels, right? And then there's like a whale level leaderboard essentially that shows who's the highest levels, right? And where you rank within there. So maybe missed opportunity. I'm not sure, right? But
yeah,
the leaderboard
where we're
is there
going,
to
Stephen,
give rewards for the
where we're
premium.
going with this topic on today's show, where we're going to end on it, ties into a little bit more about that. So we'll definitely get there. Shell Prime says you're on day 5 already, but why didn't you claim the rest of the rewards? What is 30 CP and what's the basis for getting points 2,750 out of 3,000? Isn't this a daily login system? is this a completely different task, if not a daily login system from the Axie daily bounties? Which is a lot of questions all bundled up into one, but Shell Prime, asking some good ones. Jeff Cam says there will be strategy with when you claim the bonus rice/bounty board points. You might want to time the claiming of bonus points for a week where you are doing well on the bounty board. What he's talking about there is one of the rewards here, and some of the rewards later on, is 500 rice points, which is actually the points that you accumulate to be on the Premier Bounty Board leaderboard. I mean, I don't know. Like, would you save it for a last minute push? Is this an information game thing? Like, I mean, theoretically, everyone's just going to calculate all of the rice that's available in the codex and assume that, the people who really give a shit about placing on the leaderboard are going to get all 1,500, right?
What I would do is like, it's obvious what's gonna happen. Okay, I don't even need to be like, oh yeah, let's wait to see information. I'll tell you exactly what's gonna happen. It's a lot of it will be gated by these like special axes, right? Then they're gonna have easier time to complete the battle pass and get points the same way the premium battle pass works right now, because you can do more quests if you have everything. If you have like mystics and Christmas and land and so on and so on.
Yeah.
And third, a lot of people are gonna get into this early on, but then they're gonna feel like it's not worth it at some point, right? So how do you stop that, or how do you beat that? I think there need to be some kind of a lottery system, right, as well, on top of this whole battle pass that's implemented. So like someone who's just who opened a battle pass and got levels and participated weekly has a chance to enter something where they feel like their win can be more than like whatever static there. Right? So I would be okay shaving off something somewhere so that like somebody else feels like they can get a huge W out of it, essentially. So that's something that I would like to see, just so that you can keep the loop a little bit more sustainable, right? And not like, oh, only these whales want to participate because they can and they are and they can have the completion, where like we want everybody to be able to participate, right? And I think I also read that like if you complete the battle pass, you actually get more AXS back than you do like you spent to open it, and the opening price was going to be somewhere between 7 and 8 AXS. It was in the comments. And then this AXS is also maybe not something you can sell, but it's something that you can stake and you can spend for something. So it's a different type of AXS. So it's interesting.
This will be the birth of AppC tokens, right? In this ecosystem.
I think that's what we're leaning towards, because that's what Jihos was talking about, right? Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that actually might look really good on a fucking spreadsheet somewhere. All that AXS coming in every time the Codex Battle Pass goes live. All that AXS not going out by the time the rewards are distributed. Could be interesting. Let's go back to some of these questions. We're going to briefly cover them all, so you get the gist of things here. Premier tickets, will they still be used on the Premier side of the Codex? No, they are still just going to be for Premier Bounty Board. But the Premier Bounty Board will become the default Bounty Board, and the Codex will become the new Premier experience, which ties into what Demon was saying, where like, large asset holders and etc. are probably going to have an edge in some way, shape, or form, like they have done with Premier Bounty Boards, right? This was interesting. Mark of the Zeal asked the blunt question, genuine question though. How does this benefit Axie Infinity? When you talk about a broad fucking question, mate, that's that right there. But Jeff Cam came forth and answered. The Codex will cost AXS to buy. This is what you were talking about here, I think, in this chain or this dialogue. It mentions this, but that revenue will go to the treasury. The Codex will encourage more bounty board engagement, which will result in more Axie core engagement, which means more access to the treasury. Of course, when you do bounty boards, a lot of the time you are spending on the marketplace, buying an Axie, burning an Axie, which is helping the economy of things, buying materials, whatever it might be, breeding, any of that stuff is all contributing to the AXS treasury. And remember, governance of the treasury is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, here's a key reminder. If you are in the Axie Discord, check the contributors channel. If you have access to view, if it's a view only, go check it, see the conversation that's been happening there and the announcements that have been happening. I think it actually is really, really important that there is a large portion, if not the majority, of Axie Infinity community that do start to take the governance aspect seriously. But we're not going to talk about governance much further because Theban will fall asleep. So let's keep moving. How will the treasury get revenue if you earn the AXS you input back from the battle pass? Also, how will you combat bots? This is what I was saying. He said, how will you combat bots? The answer did not even address it. The codex will pay rewards from the regular play to earn fund. So the rewards in AXS are not coming from the treasury. They are coming from an already assigned fund for the play to earn fund, which traditionally has been where competitive funds have come from, etc., etc., etc.
But by the way, as for fighting the bots, I wouldn't say anything either. Not because like I'm trying to hide like, oh, the bots are going to be a problem. It's more so like if I explain how I'm going to combat the bots then they're going to adapt before you even release the product, right? And they can ruin you from day one, right? So that I wouldn't do it.
2 months duration, 8 bounty board weeks will be the codex battle pass time frame, which is pretty long-winded in some ways.
Well, is it though? It's like almost the same as like a season of Axie, and Axie seasons don't really feel that long, do they?
What do you think, chat? I think yes, but either way, let's keep it moving. How much will the pass cost? Like we said, 5 to 8 AXS per season. But as you can see in the screenshots, you'll earn some collectibles will naturally give you an advantage because slips equal rerolls equal finishing the pass faster, which is what we spoke about. I see Rice on the redeems. Will it be separated from what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And again, something about the Rice contributes to your bounty board, but the regular bounty board will be gone and the premier bounty board will be the regular bounty board. What will be the perks / privileges in game of buying premium battle pass? Right now, the perks will be things that give advantages around Axie Core and app.axie. Eventually, I'd like to incorporate in-game perks. So nothing in-game as benefits from the battle pass, but Axie Core and app.axie. What could that then be? Maybe there's double XP rewards in this codex, stuff like that.
Who cares? You know what triggers me is like this Axie's level 60 Axies, and you can't do anything with them. Like once you're level 60,
it's just a
level
flex,
60,
bro.
But it feels horrible, man. Like you got level 60 Axies, they're your favorite Axies. That's why they're level 60, and then it's like you don't get anything from it. It's like you got all this dopamine from it, and now it's gone. Like
there's an aspect of Axie that I haven't. I mean, I definitely have vocalized this in many ways, but not enough, and probably not as concisely as I'm about to. But and by the way, I'm fucking center stage with this one. But listen, there are so many people who are devoted Axie fans, IP and all the other things. For the longest time, and I speak from my own personal perspective, but I feel it resonates with a lot of Axie fans. We want to take our Axie as far as we can in terms of its personal identity. Do you really try that? You really tried that, didn't you? You really tried that. You really, yo. You just ruined my speech. Let me do it in short words. So fuck me. I want my Axie to be unequivocally personalized as my Axie. Cosmetics, all that stuff. You made me add it back. All that stuff. We need more of it. We need so much more of it. I need my Axie to look like my Axie so uniquely, right? Because of my endeavors in the ecosystem, because of the way that I choose the Axie to be presented. Like, yes, Axie Core, you get to level 60, great, awesome. AXP has been a great thing to implement it gets a little messy, but I believe Axicore will succeed in the long term. I want it to be uniquely mine, though. So that is an avenue you can go down that doesn't affect really and truly Axicore. And really, you can just develop more cosmetics, more, just more. And that ties me into where I'm going with this next anyway. And sorry, it was my question. All right. My question is right here. What do you think of tiered rewards, right? Because if you look at this, like, yeah, you're getting this stuff. Like, obviously, there are tiered rewards, right? But the Mystic reward, everybody and their motherfucking mother, right, is gonna get. Let me get it. Everybody is gonna get this thing. Everyone's gonna get it in the same color. Everybody's gonna get it in the same movement mechanics. It's gonna be the same if it shines or if it doesn't. Like, everything's gonna be the same, bro. Why not start unveiling and elaborating and expanding the cosmetic aspects of Axie Infinity now with the Codex, and you add this dopamine, FOMO, risk element that people will participate in? And let me expand on that. Cosmetics are something holders desire. Many Axie fans want that unique feel to their favorites or collectibles. The Codex could be a sole way to get exclusive cosmetics, supply controlled through that process, through the Battle Pass. Think full card arts, Master Ball editions of regular cards, SIR cosmetics. So you get you'll get this, right? You'll get this. Yeah, but that's the regular. And then maybe you'll get like a sparkly one. That's a rare one. And then you get one that's like sparkly, but it illuminates and it has a different movement pattern and the ability to change the color based on the Axie it's equipped to, right? Like, think of how far that could go, and you could tier it to this SIR level cosmetics that end up being the top of the tree and what people desire. And they will literally go through the Codex and pray and have content around the end of the Codex on a reward reveal, right? That they get the super rare cosmetic at the end of it. I know it's very small. I know it is not super significant, but to a lot of people, I feel it would be significant, and it would tie in a little bit more to some of the habits and patterns that consumers are showing in different forms of media consumption, right? With Pokemon cards, etc., whatever. But either way, I don't know. That's what I think. What do you guys think? What do you think, Feedman? Is it bullshit, or do you see what I'm trying to get at here? Because I'm passionate about it, and you
do I need to bring it back?
You put a little piece of shit on the screen, and I need to know. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get it? Do you align with it? Do you not align with it but understand it? Like, where the fuck are you with that?
No, I mean, like, I align with it. As long like anything that gamifies and makes you want to participate more into something and like triggers feelings, I'm always game for it. Anyway, and I think that's exactly what it does. So
aside from that, the mechanical implementation of it in the Codex.
Yeah, why not? I don't see why not. At least.
All right. And that is the end of our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming through. No, I'm joking. We're going to talk about Ronin V2 because I've got all the details right here. All of them. All right. This would be where I just end the stream traditionally. But I'm going to say, Steven, do you have anything else you would like to cover topical?
Not particularly right now, but was there any other questions, that there had to be? We had
shout out to Jace, bro. Jace in the chat saying, noted, your Axie is unique to you and you want more ways to showcase it's you in Axie form. Absolutely. It's been a long time coming. Cosmetics have been a thing. We had a whole year and a half where no new cosmetics came out. I feel like now is the time to double down on it. Can my AI agent do the Codex? Trevor asks. What? Whose face is that? Whose fucking face is that, bro? Whose face is that? What am I looking at? Wait. Why did it take like the bottom half of my face, add a bum chin, and then just like put a white brother on the top half of my face. I don't like. Anyway, that's the Gila AI agent that's going to be available on Treasure at the end of the week. That's the one that calls you a lazy cunt. You must be getting good at AI though to develop that quickly.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, because that's me. This is actually me, and I'm the AI version. I'm so far advanced with AI development that you guys don't even know that the Ronin Radio is ran by an agent. So, jokes on you. Right, let's get some sophistication back in here, mate. There's a few questions actually. Let's go through some of them.
Okay.
Let's go through some.
Go ahead.
Shout out to you, Ghostin. Actually, he shared something with me, which we can actually share right now, real quick, and just look at before we get into the questions. He shares Pos2's post, which is what is the new shiny thing next to AXS? Guess, and that obviously is the CPs, right? Those codex points. So they're already displaying them. I guess that I mean. Anyway, let's move on. Can I get my AI agent to the codex? Trevor, let's just be fucking honest. After the conversation we had to start with AI agents, yeah, probably fucking not for a little minute. Either way. Town hall thoughts. I actually didn't think about it after it ended, if I'm honest. Like that genuinely. Didn't really cross my mind over the weekend. Just re-simulating being back in that town hall.
I thought we talked about it last week.
We did a live stream on Friday and we just sat and chatted afterwards.
Oh, right. About that. I can't even remember what we said.
Basically, there just wasn't much that was revealed that wasn't already known. And it was very much like
right. Okay, so the summary, right?
Control.
I remember now. So the summary of like the town hall and what our reaction to it was that we're just glad that Sky Mavis is now building in like small little bits, right? Or at least that's what I said. I said like I'm glad that they're building in small little bits instead of like just making a product and then shoving it down our throat and being like, yeah, here you go. This is what it is now, right? Instead, it's like, okay, let's launch this playtest. The playtest has like a social aspect to it, and then it has a boss fight, right? That's what we know is in there, and that's probably all it's really going to be. But that's okay, because now you get to try the movement, you get to try the social aspect, you get to see like how you feel about it and so on. You can give feedback. They can then take it, go back and be like, okay, this is what we got to fix. This is what the community actually wants from this product that we're trying to make. Let's do all of that, right? Or everybody hates it, and then they're like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. This shit ain't working. We're not going to spend another few more $1 million on this. Let's just pivot here, right? And let's just change something, right? Whether that happens or not, that's probably the least likely scenario.
Yeah.
But I think the most likely scenario is they go back, they take all the feedback, they adjust and adapt and everything, and then they try to finish this MMO out over like the next couple of years. So it's a good thing in my opinion. And they're also being more vocal, right? Like when, for example, when they were making Origins, we didn't have no town halls, right? We didn't have no conversations with the community and so on. So there is still something changing. I still think there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And I also think that Sky Mavis themselves need to find their identity again, right? Which we talked about last week.
What we spoke about.
Where I feel like Sky Mavis has lost their identity over the years because like they've been trying a bunch of different things, and people are pulling them in all these different directions about like what they should do.
Well, it is inevitable though, right? Like if you go from Axie and then you develop the network in which Axie runs off of, but like the goals then become expansion of a network which naturally is encompassing more products, like. But you're bringing all those people from Axie and essentially saying, look, we're shifting our sole attention and undivided attention away from Axie to do this thing. You're going to lose some of that core following, but also facilitating other things that may look like neglect of Axie. you're gonna pull some people and you're gonna lose some others, and then you're gonna pull some people from here doing that thing, and then you do have this mix. And I don't think we've kind of refocused on a sole identity, like you're saying.
You
since
know
then.
what's crazy about Sky Mavis and the team that people rarely acknowledge is that they had like 3 tokens in the top 100
Yeah.
of like all of crypto. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And AXS was the best performer in the last bull run. It was the best.
It was a top 20 token, right?
Yeah.
Like they understand those things, and to be fair, like even though you're doing all these things and you're not really focused on one specific thing, that's okay, right? Because there's different departments for different things. But now that there's like so many tokens and so many apps, I feel like this is the best time to actually have some focus and like be like, okay, this is where our battlefield, right?
Mhm.
This is where we want to go to war at. And let's put everything in here to destroy everybody around us, and then we'll take everybody else on after.
Yeah.
Right. So if that's gaming, or that's DeFi, or that's like a chain battle, or whatever it may be, or if that's like, RWA, whatever it may be, I just hope that we know what the end goal looks like, essentially.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, covered it pretty much as it was. I think it's actually a good thing to be more realistic about expectations, like revealing to us what the Atia's Legacy playtest is going to look like was important. And it now, when I think about it, it's like, okay, we're giving them movement mechanics and their entry to combat, right? And it's like, okay, if we can get those two things feedback and narrow it down to what we need to do to change it, we can focus on that and go full steam ahead. And then the next playtest, it can include those things, the improvements of it, and maybe one more aspect or element, maybe 2 more aspects or elements. And then you actually, it's more of a building block process, which I think will work a lot better than the building in the dark and then launching a product, right? But yeah, one thing I will take away is that I do think a full game experience, a fully fledged MMO experience, is not as close as people may be anticipating. And honestly, I'm actually happy about that, because I would not want the full MMO to and then be like, this is the MMO in it, and actually think like, what's happening? There's so much missing, or this is not good, or whatever, So yeah, those are the town hall thoughts. But good question. Is actually one thing that was mentioned in the town hall. You are mentioning it here as well. Axie TCG game bullish. People spoke about it. Geos did address it briefly, I believe, but it's not like something that's like an endeavor, all hands on deck towards the Tia's Legacy. So I don't see this happening.
No,
in
so
tandem.
I think what I recall Gio saying was something like, I don't know which space he said this in, but he was like, it could be just like a collector thing, and collectible, and then it can become a TCG from there, which makes a lot of sense, right? Like, it could be like Pokemon, right? When the Pokemon first launched, you couldn't really make decks, like proper decks, and play it, right?
The first few editions,
the beginning. Yeah. So I think something like that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'd love to see that. Imagine like the first series of Axie like includes the Mystic Axies that exist today. I don't know how many Mystic Axies are there, like 2,000, 3,000?
Wasn't it like 1,337? Wasn't that like an exact amount?
Well, my Mystic Axies ID is like 137 something. So if it was, then I probably got one of the last Mystics.
No. That's Origins.
Oh, true. Yeah. No, but Mystics are Origins, and either way, I don't know how many Mystics there are, right? But like
Mystics are parts, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why that's why like there's a lot of Origins, but there's only like a certain, I think, fixed amount of Mystics.
That's what's confusing about this TCG, though. If I was to go down it, like if I literally walked in the room today and it was like, okay, here you guys are. This is a meeting about product design for Axie TCG collectibles. Like, how are we going to go about this? I would really struggle, because there are like the supply is fucking massive, 10 million still. Would you want Axies that are true and exist would we then design personalities for Axies and give them names? Would like a Terminator Axie exist, and it just encompasses a specific one, and there's no other Termi Axie that would like? There's so many layers to how you would deliver it.
Yeah.
But
No, it's easy. It's actually a lot easier than you think.
this is what I mean.
You're thinking,
I hope you would be in the room then, because I'd be there like, what the fuck are we gonna do? You turn it. Oh no, it's easy.
yeah, like you're thinking too much about like all the Axies and NFTs and incorporating them, right? You just think about community, and you think about like lore, right? Card games come from lore mostly, right? You think about what the lore of Axie is, then you start thinking about what you want to put in from that lore. So it's gonna be mostly stuff around like Puffy, and like all these other like starter Axies that you have, because you want them to be easy for people to understand. And actually, you want to use less NFTs in the beginning, right? Because if you use the NFTs and that's someone else's IP, right? Like now you have to pay them as well, right? So they will probably try to make the core stuff more related to like what they can control, right? What Sky Mavis can control. So they would, and it's something that they can do like year after year, and then they'll implement like some actual NFT Axies into that set, where they will partner with certain people or certain Axies that are well known, right? Like Axie 1437, that's
like the Joker.
That's a good one, like the Joker, right? Put it in, and then you get like a percentage of those sales, and then you see how they do. Do they become popular, right? Do people care about them? What happens on the community marketing, blah 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 side of stuff online, right? And then you start getting data from that, right? You start being like, oh yeah, these are good, let's put this back in there. Oh, people love this, let's lean towards that, right? Let's create a meta around this stuff, right? And then as you're doing that, you're also building out the game, right? So for example, a deck could be called a Puffy deck, because Puffy is the main card or the main concept, and then you build stuff around there, right? And then the cards that you put around there, you could do whatever you want, right? I could put Axie number 56793 in there, just because I want to, right? And then I give it some special ability and some buffer, blah blah blah, some attack, some damage that is related to Puffy's effects, right? And then it's part of the Puffy deck. So there's a lot of different stuff that you can do.
Well, you'd be walking into that product meeting, and I would be fucking out the building, mate. So, GG's. But no, that's really interesting to think about. I actually genuinely hope that is a reality that we do encounter at some point. I think it makes a lot of sense. Even, bro, imagine the ability to distribute cards, like TCGs, actual physical cards, as a real world asset, but then the cards actually are like scannable, and it takes you to, or whatever. Like there's some kind of unification between NFT and deck.
Well, easy, right? What would be like in the packs, like what Pokemon does is they have like those green card or white cards in the back, right?
The
and they have like a code on it, right? Because you don't want to put that straight onto the card. Then it's like, you're trying too hard, right? You want it to be simple. You want it to be nice and pretty and whatever. You don't want to put random QR codes on your cards. So you do like what the white card stuff they do on Pokemon, and then like that gen gives you like an online pack.
Yes, good stuff to look forward to. Well, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I actually did have one more thing to look at. It was the Axie Treasury. Do you want to go there?
It's up to you. Listen, I could talk for hours. I actually talk for hours every fucking day, solving problems and being in meetings.
You're more of a yapper than I am.
That's actually very true.
Yeah, you actually are.
That's actually very true.
Let's I do want to address this one, right? It might end open-ended with no answer here, right? But shout out to the guys that built this dashboard. This is the Axie Treasury dashboard. As you can see, Treasury by the token as of right now, $67 million in value in terms of the tokens that are there in the Treasury right now. Of course, you can see the distribution between AXS, Wrapped, Ethereum, RON, USDC as well. But what I was kind of drawn towards was the revenue breakdown, and just noticing how much was provided solely through breeding, right? And what that led me to state, right, was something I'm going to say after we address what Chase is saying here on the screen, because I think we're not going to overlap those two things. Magic the Gathering has arena codes in packs, so it's not on main card. Could be an idea if we're doing something like that, which I know nothing about as the intern.
So
Yes.
you know what this tells me? This is what reads me. I'm gonna maybe I get Jason. I'm just speculating. The way he said that, it was too much like
No.
we're already cooking. We're already
No, Jace
cooking.
is just the intern, bro. It's just good intern. That's all. But
That's what
yes,
I mean.
I know.
When they
I
pull
know.
the intern card, it's like, ah,
listen,
shit, something's cooking.
I know. You know. We know. It's cool.
They're cooking. They're cooking. They're cooking.
Either way,
They're cooking.
Let me get back on this. So the treasury, right? The revenue breakdown. Look how much, right, breeding contributed to this treasury. Now, my question is, right, in today's economy of Axie Infinity, breeding is not a focal, right? It really isn't.
Yeah.
Now, this doesn't directly correlate in some aspects, but the last bull run that happened, a lot of that was fueled by breeding, right? And the FOMO of needing more Axies or wanting to produce more Axies so that you could have more scholarship options, etc., or create the next meta or whatever it was. There was so much speculation and incentive around breeding. That's why this exists in the way that it is. And that's why so much of this fund was allocated towards contributions from breeding. Not to one-to-one it, but like, if we have another bull run scenario, I'm not saying that it's going to be the same, but if we do have the bull run scenario, I'm trying to ask the question as to what in the ecosystem or the economy of Axie now would actually be able to put up numbers anywhere near or anywhere as significant as breeding. Because if you look at it, right, it's breeding, marketplace, core, origins, pack, other. Beyond marketplace, beyond core, like origins pack, all that stuff, like this is totally insignificant. And it's not insignificant, but it's very, very, very small. Will we have something in Axie? Do we think, and this is why I spoke about the codex first, do you think that the codex has the capacity to be as impactful as once something like breeding was? Obvious answer is no, because it's of course.
Let's go,
right. But what could it be?
By one. Let's go into it one by one. Okay, let's rewind. Let's go back in history.
This is me, bro. Like, it's buzzing my.
Okay, because you are like blinded by a number. Okay, you can't get past the number that you see on your screen. You're like, oh my god, this is so cool. Why couldn't we do it again? Right? Let's rewind. Let's think about what happened. Okay, history is important because that way we know how to either replicate it or we can avoid it. Yeah. So breeding. Why does the number even look like that? Because in 2021, right, when Axie was blowing up and NFTs were blowing up, people had a need for NFTs, right? Everybody wanted an NFT. Doesn't matter what it was. They just were like, oh, this is the next best thing and we got to get our hands on it. There's going to be mass adoption when the rest of the world is going to come in now and they're going to buy higher and higher. And then people just kept top blasting and top blasting and top blasting. Okay. And people were actually spending a bunch of AXS as well back in the day, like at way lower prices.
Yeah.
They were spending like 4 AXS a breed when it was like worth only a couple dollars. And then suddenly it also became worth like $160.
Yeah.
Right. There was so much volume coming through this project. It was insane. Like literally, for AXS to be a top 20 coin, like you have no idea how insane that is, you know. Like there was like what 4 billion in traded or something like that. That's crazy. That did more than any other game that existed like in that moment, right? So
it did better. It equaled Counter-Strike's revenue for that year.
That's crazy, right? So like the thing is that all that breeding money came at a time where people like it was an NFT craze. I don't think we're ever gonna see another NFT case because there's so many fucking NFTs now that it literally doesn't matter, right? Anybody can make an NFT. People understand that, but back then they didn't really understand like the tech behind it, right? They just thought it was really cool and important. And then there was also, the ponzification of SLP, right? And how many people were coming in. So all that burst of people coming in, blah blah blah, it created that. Now let's remove 2021 from the equation and let's look at how the revenue actually looks like, right? I would say marketplace is going to be at a much higher place, right? Breeding, we saw the decline, right? The problem with breeding is infinite inflation, right? It doesn't matter how much burning you do. At some point, people are going to get tired and they're going to stop, like, not only breeding but also burning, right? Burning, you can only turn that on like every once in a while, or else there's going to be like serious user exhaustion. So like that whole concept is very flawed, right? You can still breed now, but in order for you to breed, you have to be extremely specific with what you're doing, right? There's actually other solutions to NFTs now that only a few people like see it and are doing it. But like for us, are we going to be able to see something like that again? Extremely unlikely, right? Well, was the first time that happened extremely unlikely? Yes, right? But things can happen, and like you said, maybe you're right. Maybe, who knows? Like the codex does do something like that, but the chance of that happening is extremely unlikely.
Yeah. But I think that's where we can wrap things up with a bit of intellect and a lack of fucking spewing of thoughts from me. So you tidied it up nicely. I shit all over the floor and you cleaned it up. So thanks. You might actually be the janitor at Sky Mavis office in
hey man,
anyway.
if I'm the
Goodbye,
janitor,
guys.
listen, if I'm the janitor there, I'm pretty sure I'm making like 3x what I make right here. You know what I mean?
Believe
Like
it.
there's no way that yeah.
I'm still getting beat by a McDonald's career at the moment. So, either way, it's been a beautiful show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to be here live on Thursday. And look, I'm going to drop you some alpha right now. If you are here and you stuck around to the end of the show, here's the alpha. Thursday show, we will have none other than Psych Out here on the show. And you know what that means, right? I'll leave you with that. Big shout out to everybody that took part. The CAG raffle took place. So shout out to the Ronin Radio intern that wasn't here in the show during the show because we did it. But either way, we had some great topics, man. We discussed the AI endeavors that are occurring right now here on Ronin, and of course spoke a little bit about the Axie Codex. Two big topics. Space is heating up. I think ETH is going to go absolutely ballistic. I don't think those irrational numbers you may have heard over the last few days or last week are actually that unachievable. And yeah, that's pretty much it, mate. I'll see you on Thursday, and fuck off. Thanks.